This season on Star Trek Picard, the crew set off on their wacky adventures. Picard finds himself at home with his Romulan involuntary compelled workforce. Oh wait, that's slaves. Raffi and Seven go off on their mission to fix climate change by nagging it to death.
The future we saw starts right here.
Agnes gets to enjoy a little me time.
So I'm not exactly dating material.
And Picard and Q take a look at his trophy room. Ew! And the Spanish guy has a run-in with the Federales. Uh-oh, better not drop the soap there, buddy. Don't miss all the hijinks on Picard. You'll laugh yourself silly. At least until Strange New World premieres. Next on Everybody Hates Agnes. What's she been up to since she murdered her ex-boyfriend? She did the giggity with Captain Rios, who then dumps her crazy ass. Rejected. Agnes hits the bottle hard and then teams up with the Borg Queen and starts singing.
I know what boys like, I know what guys want. I was working as a waitress in a cocktail bar.
I guess the best way to heal a broken heart really is through song. Meanwhile, years of self-doubt and depression from a third-rate self-taught astronaut are erased by a 10-minute pep talk from Picard. We can't have that now, can we? Meanwhile, the Borg Queen and Agnes find friendship. I guess they really do need each other. Are you two gonna make out now? You won't believe your eyes, because it's too incredibly stupid to think anyone actually sat down and wrote this crap. Don't miss Everybody Hates Agnes. You know, I'm really surprised she hasn't puked yet.
Everybody hates Agnes. Oh, where are we? Who are you? Why are you here? Why am I? Where am I? Holy crap, I lost it again. I unmute the mic just so I can start talking while I'm like scrolling through finding my camera. Because all of my clips are like way different in a different location entirely. Is that it? That's it. Hello. Oh, I'm lower. It's because I changed chairs. There we go. I'm a little lower down than that. All right, we changed chairs. Hello, everybody. We watched Picard. We watched it yesterday. Wow. There's been so many other things. So who are you? Why are you here?
I'm Rob off camera.
All right, we'll get somewhere where you can at least be on the mic. So.
I'm Rob off camera.
As he yells from across the room.
Oh, for God's sake.
If you're going to be in the other room, just Discord it.
Yeah, for God's sake. How many people go watching
We just started. It's fine. Picard is... it's unwatchable shit. We all know it's unwatchable shit.
People ask us, why do we keep watching? It's like watching a train wreck in progress.
It's more of a... I'm a completionist, and I kind of got to see where it goes so that when people say... oh, well, you're clearly this, and all their little Twitter arguments... I can pull up specifics in my brain.
Yeah. And
be very, very annoyed. So first off, why the crap is BALTAR Picard's father?
I don't know. Oh, God. It gets more nonsensical by the day.
Vincent Galapew, I'm saying your name wrong, I'm sorry. The episode is the final nail in the coffin for me, and it just scrolled. Right? Sending healing vibes to Agent Orange Cat. He's fine.
Oh, he's
fine. It's just our pocketbook that took a hit.
He's doing very well.
I'm gonna probably have to pay Rob that.
So if if anybody wants to contribute to the Agent Orange Cat Recovery Fund,
well, we're gonna have Rob watch Ghostbusters on Saturday. Yeah, tomorrow, right?
Please leave a paper bag full of.
Did you go set up your?
Bills. I will. But yeah, leave a paper bag full of unmarked.
Shout out, thank you so much. Rob, I have to agree. Train wrecks are more coherently written. Yeah.
They are. Yeah, they are.
Yes. And thank you so much, Sean Russell. SG, sadly, I'm caught up with this season only because the first episode looked promising, but it's just fake-ass member berries. Yeah, the first episode was somewhat watchable.
It's like they have a bunch of ideas, a bunch of script ideas written down, and then someone said, okay, now fling them up in the air and put it back together.
Yeah, and they're trying to stitch it together in an episode. In this episode, we see, for no reason, what Agnes is up to, for no real other reason than to showcase Picard's real-life wife, Patrick Stewart's real-life wife, and her stupid band, her stupid blues.
Oh,
band.
that's his wife?
Yeah, that's his wife singing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
He's got a young little piece of...
Well, they're like 40-year age difference or something, so...
Well, Paul McCartney's 80 and his wife's 50. When you're famous, you get there's a lot of leeway you can get there. So anyway, hi everybody.
They know what we want, but F that, they'll take it, right? It's like they know what we want, but they're not. I think that they're literally trying. I think that they think that they're making something coherent. I think that they're like, well, gosh, what do sci-fi fans want? What do people want? They want Battlestar Galactica, right? So they're literally giving us Battlestar Galactica, only not good. You've got a chick in basically the red dress from Battlestar Galactica, practically, at least as close to one as our little mousy Agnes can pull off.
Oh, I'm sharing it. Oh, we can't find Agnes. We get really a blonde in a red dress. You can't find a blonde in a red dress.
I'm sorry, couldn't you scan for like Borg DNA or something if you have a chip? That's what I would do. It's like, well, gee, can we track her and scan to where the location of any Borg DNA might be? Because that's something that I would do as a Star Trek fan, but I'm not writing. I'm not allowed to write it. We were just watching a video actually where we were hearing that somebody that anytime anybody would come to set and say, well, canonically this, canonically that, they were fired.
Yeah.
So
I believe it.
I believe it because these people are so up the butt of trying to argue what canon is that they just don't even want to hear it.
Pull something out of your ass and make it sound halfway plausible. Oh, well, we lost track of Agnes. Well, she's been injected with Borg nanoparts, and they emit her subspace signature to the rest of the Borg collective. So even though she's the queen, she's going to be calling for the collective still.
Yeah.
I mean, make something up that sounds good.
Nanotech like that doesn't exist in 2024. It probably wouldn't have an energy signature, except they have the ship.
They have the ship.
They have Rios' ship.
They're not from 2024.
They're not from 2024. They have the technology to scan. They have a spaceship. I mean, Rios beams his girlfriend onto the spaceship.
And changes history.
Like, everything about the show changes history. They're like, oh, we can't change history. So what do? They proceed to change history every moment of the day. I think I have this pulled up behind me. Oh, I hate Raffi. Dear God, I hate Raffi. What a useless piece of crap character this is. Nothing against the actress. I'm sure she's lovely. We can separate the two. This is just a flashback? Yeah, this is a flashback. So yeah, Picard had to be taken to the hospital, to the back alley abortion clinic again. Because of course.
Oh.
Can the Cylons attack Earth and save us from Picard season 2? You'd think so.
Who wants to lay odds that Spanish doctor is going to come with
Do you think they'll let her? Do you think they'll let Latina doctor?
They probably won't have much of a. She'll jump into the beam like the Doctor did with. In Star Trek 4, since they're pilfering everything else from Star Trek 4.
They're just ripping it off. It's like, look, I love Star Trek 4. I will just watch Star Trek 4. I don't need to be reminded of the good stuff of Star Trek 4. I can just pull up the DVD. Or pull it up on anything.
He even says, no, I'm from Chile.
So what the fuck was this thing? What was this thing? This is just a giant Cheeto. It was a glowy cheese ball.
I love cheesy poofs.
It's a glowy cheese ball.
Allowing life.
Okay, well, we don't want to play too much.
I'm not playing too much. I'm just kind of like, what is with this? So for some reason, Picard's on the ship of what, the Stargazer or the SS Eddie Van Halen, the USS Eddie Van Halen, or whatever it's called.
The Ship of Fools.
And so he's in his head, but he's on the ship because he's in like a coma. And the chick who's not Romulan Mrs. Doyle, but she's still a Romulan, just with a much worse accent now. Because now we find out, oh, she actually really is a Romulan. So instead of just, the already hand wave that they did, they're like, oh yeah, now I am a Romulan, because now I'm going to tap into Picard's head. I'm going to tap into Picard's head and see what's happening in there. And she can't do an accent worth
Oh my God. Oh, that is the worst.
So this is what's in his head right now. He's seeing himself talking to, he's right next to like a glowing Utz Cheeseball, and he's being interrogated by BALTAR from Battlestar Galactica. At first, I'm like, wait a minute, did they get Dr. Bashir on here? No, that's not Dr. Bashir. That's James Callis from Battlestar Galactica, because they look so similar. They like, it slowly pans over. He's getting lectured. You can't tell who he's talking to. And then there's BALTAR. Why? Why couldn't it have been Dr. Bashir, or at least somebody that goes so dead set on using all these member berries? First off, this is a spoiler. We aren't supposed to know right away that this is his father. It's supposed to be spoon-fed, which is why he doesn't look anything like him, apparently. Apparently, like, it's supposed to be this big, oh, and that's his dad, despite the rest of us Trek people who have seen countless episodes where we see what his father looked like. We already know what his father looked like. Doesn't look anything like BALTAR. Not only that, his father wasn't in Starfleet. His father was a winemaker.
Yeah, father ran the vineyard.
His father wasn't even in Starfleet.
Shout out to Rob Meyer Burnett, who pointed that
now
out.
I want to watch a show with James Callis in it. Can we get him in a show? Not Star Trek. Give him an Orville spinoff. Dear God, I like watching him in things. Anyway, how do robots go into a coma? Sean Russell, thank you so much. I don't know. I don't know. How does he get... Oh, he got hit by a car, and it did something to his neurons
to
or
his
something.
Robot body.
To his positronic brain.
Wouldn't it be funny, though, if he just, he's got a robot body, if he lifted up the car and just tossed it? That would be hysterical, because he's a robot.
And this guy is so much more interesting than anybody on this show. We hate Raffi. We hate 7 of 9 now because they're both horrible people. I'm like, okay, I'm kind of intrigued. Is this because my brain doesn't stop with Star Trek. My brain's like, is this some sort of Section 31 thing? Is this supposed to be, because I only saw him from like the side. They give you a good couple of minutes of coming in from the side here of like what's going on with this guy, and you hear like a Britishy voice, you hear the accent, and then they slowly pan around. So I'm thinking, okay, wait, what is this? He's being interrogated? Did he get oh no, he's still getting operated on. So he's being interrogated in his own head. Yeah, he has mommy and daddy issues. So this whole episode basically showcases all of his mommy issues and daddy issues all in one. And dear God, we were just watching. Okay, so we were just watching this video on the Charisma. Techie Mantis sent this over. If you're in the Discord, go ahead and link that video in chat. We highly recommend it. They're talking about how the guy's talking about how it's a former network exec talking about how the charisma of Star Trek Discovery, and I would say Picard too. I would insert that, yes, Picard also. There's no charisma. None of these actors or people have any charisma except this guy. He's not on the show. Too bad. I mean, but then again, I liked him already on Battlestar Galactica, a much better, more competent show that's gonna get me interested in this stuff. I literally fell asleep watching this episode twice. I really wanted to see Callis. JHH says, I couldn't pay attention to this. Like 10 minutes in, I'm like, we got to get up and do something. I think we went for a walk. Then something else happened. I don't remember what else. I tried to watch this over 3 separate times, so sessions, and that's maybe about 20 minutes each, because this is a 46-minute long episode, and it feels like it's about 4 hours. It feels like it's about 4 hours. SJ, I never finished the Eternals because I kept falling asleep. Yeah, I'm so bored by this preachy, pretentious shit. And this is the most interesting part that's going on here is BALTAR, for some reason, is acting like a therapist. He's saying, you're so sheltered and you've got parts of your brain so locked off that even a betazoid can't read you. Because remember betazoids? I remember betazoids. You remember betazoids? Yeah. I remember betazoids. So this is just confusing more people like me whose brains never stop. Because one of the things I used to do with all these shows that were filmed in Vancouver, back when all the shows were being filmed in Vancouver, like Battlestar Galactica and Stargate and all this stuff, there was like 27 shows I was all watching all at once. And they would all have like the same handful of actors. So you'd be like, oh, that guy who was in this, and he was over in this show being somebody else, you know? So I always play that game anyway, whether I'm aware of it or not. So I am so distracted by BALTAR being in this that everything that they're whining and complaining about in the episode and crying about is just so unimportant. So he's like, oh, tell me a story. So we get this flashback of Picard, young Picard, and his fucking mother. So this is supposed to be his mother, 6'4" tall woman who's like
very kind of very tall drink of water.
Yeah, she's like, oh, and there's no more monsters here. So she paints on the windows because that's something you want to do is paint up your only light sources. Apparently she's crazy. And we didn't know that his mother was crazy, which you would think that they would have, I don't know, known about on his application to Starfleet. Are there any instances of insanity in your family? Are there any instances of, because like all throughout this thing, they're kind of trying to paint his father like he's mean to his mother, like his father's the bad guy. Okay, so we've been rolling our eyes waiting for it. Like, okay, and his father is going to be an absent father, bad dad. It's going to be a bad dad trope. No, they do both. They make him a bad dad and they make his mother a bad mother. They give her some mental illness or something where she's running from imaginary monsters that only exist in her head, and they've got to go under the cellar in the vineyard for some reason. Why is his father in the vineyard and on Starfleet? Like, this is what doesn't make sense to me. I think that they tried to go a little too pretentious and up their own butt, and then they decided to add it after the fact that was his dad. Do you think that that's the case?
The whole idea is that's, he doesn't, like, that's his idealized version of someone who might be his father.
Okay.
Someone who was in Starfleet, that he would follow in his footsteps, This is just me spitballing, but I think that's the idea. Someone who's a very kind of, or if he's just, I think that's the idea. I'm not 100% sure because the writers are idiots.
Yeah, and it's like they're trying so desperately to get to tell this overly complex nothing burger of a story that nobody cares about and doesn't matter to the character. And it only depletes and diminishes him. Because now you're telling me that Picard had a mother with psychological issues that nobody knew about? That would have kept him out of Starfleet, wouldn't it?
Well, it would if he had those issues.
Yeah. That
would have turned up on his psychological profile. Has unresolved issues, parental issues.
Yeah, it would have turned up on his psych eval. Like they wouldn't let some emotionally damaged person be the captain of the Federation flagship.
Everybody's got to be emotionally damaged now. Don't you know that?
That's BS. That's garbage and that's stupid.
He can't be a Starfleet officer because he's committed to what the Starfleet and the Federation believe in. He has to be damaged. And so that's their way of doing it. That's a way of damaging him. Retroactively.
Yeah, damaging him retroactively.
Okay, well, first of all, we know from Tapestry that he did have some issues with his father.
Yeah.
His father was very stern, very...
Well, and in a society that is more... How do we put this? Explorative, more idealized, more, we're out there to see how other aliens and civilizations, and he's like Star Trek TNG was this typical very it's kind of like very new therapy, very 90s, very 80s, where everybody's open about their feelings and everybody's, like you kind of treat everybody in TNG like they've moved past a lot of this stuff.
But they were always very professional.
Yeah, like they had this professionalism that if you were somebody who was going to break down psychologically, you wouldn't be there. That's a huge problem with Discovery. That's a huge problem with Picard. That's a huge problem with all this new Trek, is that they treat this military or militarized environment of Starfleet like it's your office workplace filled with people who melt down and tattle to HR.
Dakota, how can you do that?
You offended me. You hurt my feelings. I'm going to tattle to HR.
You're committing a microaggression against me.
That African-American writer used the N-word in front of us. Oh, my pearls. Oh, my pearls. He said a word.
Trigger alert.
I'm very uncomfortable hearing that word, even if it is from an African-American male. Yeah.
Who experienced it firsthand.
Yes. So they got him. No, they didn't really get him fired. They were trying to. He's like, screw this. I'm out.
No, in that one instant, they betrayed everything that Star Trek was about.
Yeah, that one instance. So yeah, we got to move on to the Seven and Raffi subplot. What's this one? Or is this the Rios
the
one?
most uninteresting, the least hot lesbian couple on TV.
You'd think if one of them is 7 of 9.
Holy cow!
Who would have thought in the 90s if you were to say, hey, in 20 years, 7 of 9 is gonna be like this hot bisexual who goes around shooting people
In an interracial relationship?
Yeah, in an interracial relationship with this woman who's unlikable. She's worse than she was.
They clearly hate each other.
Yeah, they clearly don't like each other, so why would we like them? And then they can't even figure out. They get locked out of the ship later on. Borg giggity. Shut up, thank you so much. Yeah, we're gonna have to make a new one with Raffi and Seven, all their little glances.
God.
We have a new one we haven't added. We'll play that. We did a skit.
Yeah,
I think it needs
yeah.
the music though. We'll do
What?
that. We'll play that towards the end of the stream here.
The chicken music? No, I don't think everyone needs chicken music. but okay, all right.
So we find out that this chick, who's Gary Seven, basically, is not just an alien, but she retcons it and like, oh yeah, there's a lot of different alien species across the galaxy who do this type of job. I happen to be Romulan, so she finally showcases that she's So this is where she plugs herself into Picard, right?
She says there's a lot of different alien species from across the galaxy. I happen to be Romulan. That's what she sounds like. I happen to be Romulan.
I happen to be Romulan.
I happen to be Romulan. Where did you learn this accent?
I don't know.
What kind of, that's...
Let me go back. Where is she? So yeah, where did she learn this accent? I don't know.
It's the most unconvincing American accent I've ever heard. And she lets a little bits of the... You listen... I've never been to LA, but I've got to think there's a pretty large Irish immigrant population there. Just let her speak with an Irish accent. It's not that unusual. And there's lots of people around the world.
Well, then we would have complained.
Los Angeles.
Then we would have complained. Why is this Irish Romulan? Well, then it makes less sense that the Romulan is Irish. Now that makes less sense if the Romulan's Irish in the future, and then they retcon her. Now she's a Romulan again. So she wasn't supposed to be a Romulan until we started complaining. So I guess they retconned it halfway through the season or something.
Irish.
I don't care. That's not the important part. That's not even the importance of it. The thing is, I think it would have stood out more if she was also Irish. Wouldn't have it? Because she's so because it's so jarring that the Romulan in the future that Laris is Irish. Nothing. They should have not used her as an actress. They should have hired somebody else. They should have hired somebody. They should have used Brent Spiner again, made it Data's head. They should have made it fucking Gary Seven. Just recast Gary Seven as some guy. Just somebody from the show we've already used. How many characters did they not use last time? They had from last season. Just have Elrond be the Watcher. Why couldn't have Elrond been the Watcher?
Yeah, who cares?
I don't care.
Well, he's gonna pop up again.
He's gonna pop up again anyway. So yeah, you got Seven and Raffi here, and they're talking. What was this conversation about?
I don't know.
Absolutely.
So hey, you gonna.
This is there.
Now, see, we're totally different. Now our pain is beautiful and tragic and.
Our pain is beautiful and tragic. Oh yeah, they were having a little lover spat, weren't they?
Oh please, your pain is beautiful.
People are like,
tragic.
people love watching us as a couple because we're horrible people together.
Yeah.
We're horrible women.
Yeah.
And then she gets locked out of the ship. So
those are man
like,
hands, okay? Those are man hands.
So you know how I'm like, hey, how come they didn't scan for Borg technology? This is what they're doing on the ship. They're trying to find Agnes because they know Agnes. I think this is where they finally realize that Agnes has the Borg Queen in her because they're going to try and find Agnes. They go back to the ship and they're like, we're locked out of the ship. She's got Borg technology. That's why they didn't scan, because they got locked out of the ship.
Well, so.
But don't they have sensors? Don't they have fucking tricorders that they've converted from cell phones? I know how to use a tricorder. Gee, I'd hope so. You're a Starfleet officer.
Yeah,
Isn't that day one training?
It's only standard equipment. It's the first thing they give you when
Right. So Seven's like, I'm trying to unlock it despite not knowing what I'm doing and not being a Borg for, 17 years. I'm still going to try and unlock it. Man hands with the luster. So she taps into Picard's head. using.
This should have
Oh, look, the thing
Yeah,
is pointing.
it's pointy. We
Oh,
missed
that's
that last time.
foreshadowing.
We missed it last time. So she's using Romulan technology that she got off of the Tok'ra, apparently, where she could just pop into his head. No, they've used this before in Enterprise, haven't they?
I
think
know.
they use this in. Have they used this in Enterprise where they can kind of interface?
I fell out of.
Is this something that they were using when they were doing the drone ships that were manned by like the blind Andorians, the albino Andorians? They were hooking them up to that. Am I right on that, or am I just making it up just to try and justify it? I don't remember. It would have been in the very, very tail end of like Enterprise.
Steve Botham's got a good point. First 4 things you get are a uniform, comm badge, a phaser, and a tricorder.
Right?
allow me into his mind.
And so she's going to get into his mind.
You're jury-rigging a mind meld.
She's jerry-rigging a mind meld. If she's a Romulan, though, why couldn't Romulans do mind melds?
I don't know.
Was there a canonical reason? Do you guys remember why? Because my question was, and like I know there's other people who know way more about Star Trek than me, but I'm pretty competent in there. I'm just like there's a few pieces that I might forget here and there, so I'll ask. And then people will be like, "See, you're not a true Trek fan because you had to ask a question." Rather than being, yeah. So what happened canonically that Romulans couldn't do mind melds, or what? Am I just making that up? Am I just making it up? Because that's how I'm justifying it. Because the Romulans and the Vulcans were both the same species, right? Once upon a time, and then they split off. So they've got the same physiology. They both have green blood. But what happened that the Romulans didn't develop their psychic ability because they didn't meditate? Was that part of it where they never meditated and they never developed their psychic abilities and then they lost them over time, but they had like a latency? I'm reading way too much into this. I'm trying to connect some dots here. And it's probably not important. I'm thinking way more about it than they did, clearly. I'm back to BALTAR, the only interesting part of the whole show.
Well, apparently the genes, according to some sources, the genes.
Oh, you're looking up.
That are required for Romulans to do the mind meld are dormant.
Okay.
Because of the separation for so long.
Okay. Assuming they kept their emotions. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It was something like that where they probably couldn't, but they could kind of do the technology of it. Okay.
Employed psychologists like you and Starfleet, obviously. Judge and jury of all things meritorious.
Starfleet. So he's got to take a dig at Starfleet.
Starfleet is bad.
Starfleet and bad because they think that they're the be all end all of everything. Actually, that was one of the things I liked about Starfleet then is that they said, "Hey, we're the new people out here in the galaxy. We'll bend to your customs." But then I started thinking, wait a minute. You're trying to get in with us now. Maybe you should start doing some of ours, right?
Well,
is that Dr. Bashir? See, that's what I initially thought at first when we saw him from the side. I'm like, did they bring in Dr. Bashir for some cameo?
Well,
no, that's actually James Callis from Battlestar Galactica. He looks very similar to
I can't remember his name.
Alexander Siddig.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that his name?
But it's not so much that...
Looks very similar to Dr. Bashir. Different actor, which is what confused me so much. But then I'm like on this Battlestar Galactica kick because now you got the chick in the red dress, Agnes, who sees a Borg queen inside, a robotic cybernetic life form inside of her head that she talks to. And now we got the Battlestar Galactica stuff coming in even more. And now Picard is seeing literal Gaius Baltar in his head. Crying out loud. So that's what got me on a whole battle. Like I could just be watching Battlestar Galactica. I could just be watching that through again, and I'd enjoy that way more because as dark of a show that was, it made sense in the setting and then the timeline. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else to complain even more with this one, but.
Well,
he knows which skirt to hide behind. Yeah, so we're pulling up this version here just for review purposes. She's the drummer from Scott Pilgrim. I hated Scott Pilgrim. I'm the only person.
I never saw Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah. Oh, I couldn't stand it. It was awful. Dear God, it was awful.
One of the things.
Oh, it was unwatchable.
One of the things I read about Scott Pilgrim, why did Scott Pilgrim fail? Well, you had a music movie with no music in it. Movie about
a guy in a band who's trying to cheat on his girlfriend. That's why I hated it. All right. So we're back in his head, and apparently his head, this is like a Halloween episode.
Should be.
Because he's seeing like remans and monsters, and so you hear a lot of audio of like previously on other episodes of Star Trek.
Previously on better episodes of Star Trek.
She's got a line here. I don't want to play it for you because I don't know exactly where it is. She's like, "Gee, if this is you sober, I'd hate to think of how you are after 5 drinks, Picard." Like, stop giving her lines. Please just stop giving her lines and dialogue.
Line.
So she's in there wandering through his subconscious in this dungeon. Oh, there's little boy Picard because he's got his own inner child trapped inside of a dungeon in his head.
Oh,
because it's a metaphor.
Now his inner child is damaged.
Good.
For God's sake.
Good.
It's just
I
like,
hope he was dropped off on an island. Screw
it's
it.
just like every mid-90s
every mid-90s trope.
like trope, like your inner
Your
child.
inner child. You have parental issues. Who cares? Everybody does. Get over it. We all do.
I'm thinking maybe I should help unstick you. How do I do that?
I'm not leaving without my mother.
My mummy. I want my mummy. Are you my mummy?
What is this?
Are you my mummy? Are you my mummy? Is this that bad episode of Doctor Who from season 1?
It's like Charlie. It's like Charlie in the Chocolate Factory. Jeez.
I'm not leaving without my mummy. Are you my mummy? Are you my mummy?
Mama.
Is this before or after she got
Mama.
attacked by remans? I think this was after. Yeah, there's a part where she's getting like grabbed by remans or something. And
Mama.
monsters and
Right, it just
are you my mummy? It's just so annoying. So she's in there for no reason other than to prove she can mind meld with him, I suppose.
Somebody has to
You gotta
expose
explain it to
their
me.
damaged inner child.
You have to expose your damaged inner child to Romulan Mrs. Doyle, who's an ancestor of the one you're in love with for some reason, despite the fact you were in love with Beverly Crusher all this time. We're supposed to give a crap about this Romulan chick for no reason that he's in love with.
No, that doesn't count. You know, that's even though it's they've served countless years together. They've known each other for better than anyone else, and you know, he was a de facto father figure to her son.
So then he finally confronts his father, and his father finally exposes the fact that his mother was crazy. It's like, hey, I wasn't the monster. Your mother was. She was always running from monsters. Did we skip over the Agnes stuff?
No, that doesn't
That's
come
not
until
later.
later.
Oh, this has a big chunk of it. That's true. We're only at the halfway point. This is a huge chunk of it. I skipped ahead 20 minutes.
When I'm watching Star Trek, I don't want to see a therapy session.
But
Listen,
Deanna Troy was a literal therapist. You don't know. Is this canon?
yeah, but that didn't occupy 45 minutes of screen time.
That's true. That's true. There's a lot of screen time for this therapy session where he's just yelling at Baltar for no reason. Why are you yelling at
But the
Baltar?
very story you're telling me is one of good, prevailing.
Stop. Yeah, please. Even he's had enough of
But
it.
he's had enough of it. So yeah, he tells a story of his mother having to run from monsters in the cellar, right? He's like, tell me a story. So this is all like a deep metaphor for his mother was running from the monsters in her own mind. And his dad wasn't the bad guy because his mother would have locked him in the basement and let him drown if it had not been for his dad. And meanwhile, while all this is going on inside of his head, because that's something that I guess androids do dream, huh? All they need is just a little bit of an electric sheep wandering by or something. Because remember, Picard's a full-on robot now. So how they can even get into his head, I don't know. Did Data have a subconscious? Does Picard have a subconscious? Like,
Well,
did Data dream?
Data did dream.
He does dream.
In a few episodes.
Okay, so
remember?
Data dreamed. All right, I
Data
remember
dreamed
that
in a
now.
few episodes.
Oh, well, that makes my joke less funny now because I'm like,
Well, but Data only because that
I was going for humor, not
some
accuracy.
aliens were trying to get to the Verteron particles. Remember?
Yeah, okay.
Hold still.
But anyway, so we have to go wander through Picard's psyche. And Now this vending machine with Fritos and Snyder pretzels and Twizzlers.
That is racist.
And Fritos are racist. What makes you think that a Spanish-speaking clinic only eats Like, they got a lot of Fritos there. They got Fritos there. They got Fritos down here. There's a lot of Fritos. He is literally... So meanwhile, in the Frito Bandito lunch cafeteria area of the police station hospital...
The back alley clinic.
Back alley clinic. She's like, I want to know what's going on. What the hell's happening here? So he locks the door. They get into this big thing where she's like, hey, I'm a strong woman. Don't you dare lock the door to my clinic, dude. And he's like, yeah, but...
This is going to freak you out.
This is going to freak you out. I'm kind of from, here, we're just going to recycle the line from Star Trek 4. I'm not from space. I just work there or something.
I'm from Chile. I only work in space.
Yeah, I'm from Chile. I only work in space. Okay, great. He's from Chile. Oh, here's the Remans. Is this a Reman or is... That's not a Reman. That's just a monster.
That's just a monster.
That's just a monster. It's not a Reman. I'm like, is this a Reman? Because it was so darkly lit. I've got to kind of enhance. Can you see anything in this shot? Does that look like a Reman to you if you just barely glance at it? Does to me.
Hey, look, you almost have proper lighting.
And they almost light the shot here. So she's like, what's going on? I need to know what's going on. And this is about where he explains everything.
Raffi,
beam us up.
I need some kind of stabilizer stat. It's for Picard.
Oh God, he has her beam in the magic wand. The magic wand, isn't that the stabilizer?
I don't know if this is programmable matter, but it's a kind of stabilizer.
Ah, and he has her beam it into her.
Why do you give it to her? She wouldn't know how to use it.
Here, make a wish. It'll heal him with the power of your mind. Shit.
Always? Are you kidding me?
I don't know how to use it.
Is this real? Who are you?
You're gonna have to.
If you tell me to trust you one more time.
So they give it to her. Why? This looks like a Klingon thing.
Why are you giving it to her? She's a doctor, but she's a 21st century doctor. She doesn't know how to use it.
Maybe she invented the thing. Oh no, the activists, so they only write this BS, are probably the only people that care about this show. Yeah, well, and it's all activism references too. It's just, hey, remember the environment? Hey, remember immigration? Hey, remember Orange Man Bad? It's just member berries of activism.
I remember.
It's like they don't know politics. These people think they're so smug trying to lecture you. They just have references to politics. Do better, Star Trek.
They're incapable.
So this is one of those programmable matter things that you wish it into existence, or you wish whatever.
Am I gonna kill him?
Please do. Can we please put him out of our misery? Am I gonna kill him? Yes. Why is the robot at the doctor's office? I don't know. So this is one of those dumb programmable matter things. Again. Are you gonna zap him? She zaps him, right? Who cares? We'll skip over. And then Laris, or not Laris, but Gary Seven, the Laris Watcher, who happens to be a Romulan, rescues young child Picard in his mind from his shackles, and she frees him from his mother's psychological damage and reeing. And then he wakes up all magically because she did that, and in his head, he had a thing. He had a breakthrough. This was so much more interesting when Daniel Jackson was ascended and talking to Anubis in a cafeteria. I'm serious, and you have no idea. Yeah, you have no idea what I'm talking about. Trust me, it's a million times more interesting and better done than this. Because see, they're trying to go into his deep psyche and figure out what's wrong with him.
I work in outer space.
Oh, here we go. Here's the line.
Work in outer
Here it is.
Yeah.
Are you from space? Are you from outer space?
No. I'm from Chile. I work in outer space.
Of course, yeah. Of course, he. Oh, Mr. Mysterious Spaceman.
Telling me lines from a good Star Trek movie in a bad Star Trek series just makes me hate the bad one more. Because
You can't do anything
You
original.
can't even do anything original. Like, I liked that already.
Oh, Star Trek 4. Remember?
I do.
Remember.
I do remember Star Trek 4. And if I wanted to watch Star Trek 4, I would just go and watch Star Trek 4.
Yeah, remember Alex? Remember? Hey, remember Ghostbusters? Oh, I remember. Remember Slimy?
They're so cute. Can we just watch Member Berries?
You remember when?
Now, where are the whales? They forgot about they're not about saving the whales anymore. They don't know that activism because they haven't brought that. It's all climate.
I'm sure they'll run across a couple of humpback whales on their way back.
On their way back.
Captain, there be whales here.
You know they're gonna do it too.
Yeah.
I hate the show. So much.
This is just it doesn't even
Here,
deserve
coffee
my
commercial.
hate.
We need to do a coffee commercial.
The best part of waking up is
No.
Raffi in your cup.
She asks Seven, hey, write that down. 709 Raffi Star Trek commercial, coffee commercial. 2656.
Well, there's only one little bit here.
I know, there's one little bit here, but you can take clips of her and Seven together earlier because they were walking through the ship.
2656.
Yeah, just say, Seven, you haven't touched your coffee. I can't drink coffee when the world is at stake.
Seven and Raffi coffee commercial.
See, this is how the magic happens. I get a bunch of caffeine in me. I eat some Natty Rems live resin gummies. And then... coffee commercial.
Yeah.
Purged all the board.
Haven't touched your coffee.
Crashed, landed. I wanted to understand how she broke into
I
systems.
don't understand.
I called up the last occurrence of board code.
I can't drink my coffee because I haven't seen Agnes burst out into song in this episode yet. Here she is. So they're looking for Agnes. Now they finally figure out that, yep, Agnes encrypted the whole thing with the Borg. She encrypted it with the Borg Queen.
Find her now.
We have to find Agnes. No, what happened was they filmed a whole bunch of stupid random scenes of Agnes in the red dress and figured out how do we sprinkle it in throughout the season or two.
Yeah, this feels like it's from a completely different show.
Yeah, it's from a completely. It's like they added so much stuff after the fact. Oh, we're still in his head. We're still in his head.
How much is this? Do you think is?
Here you go, Picard. I rescued you as a child inside of your own head.
My ready room.
What's that banging?
What's that banging, Picard? What is the banging?
I'm gonna drown my sorrows in cookie butter.
I'm just waiting until I get to sing. I don't get to sing yet.
You've been guarding it all this time.
So Baltar's been guarding his mind in the basement the whole time for no reason.
He's been keeping the horrible secret from Picard that his mother was a nutcase.
But if it's inside of Picard's head the whole time, he already knew.
I don't freaking know anymore.
He already knew though. So he's got to confront Baltar in his head, who looks a lot like Dr. Bashir. And then they kiss.
You lived longer than I did, but I got to keep my hair.
Bullshit.
No, you didn't. You were bald. Gee, wasn't his father bald?
Yes. Father was very bald. Remember Tapestry?
Yeah. Oh,
Pull up his picture of his father from Tapestry.
You got to live longer than me, but I got to keep my hair. No, you didn't.
No,
Picard's father. Tapestry. Images. Really?
There. It's
right there on the goddamn Memory Alpha open image. This guy. That one. Him. That's his father. There.
You couldn't find someone who looked like him? Yes, he was very stern. He goes, I warned you about trips and go gallivanting around the galaxy in Starfleet. Now look at you, dead before your time.
Really? Really? he got to keep his hair. I guess this is supposed to be. Oh, but this is a future version of Picard, or his dad. His dad died before this. This is what he imagined his dad would look like.
They'll hand wave it away.
They'll hand. Was this brother bald too? Yeah, you think?
Yes, Robert was bald. Robert was bald. Robert had a very young son later in life. Then he died in the fire in the vineyard. Remember?
Good. Yeah, he died in the fire. Good riddance.
Robert was always jealous of. Oh, for God's sake, the pop up.
It's fine.
Not exactly a fair trade, is it?
Yes, it is.
Son.
Yeah, because nobody would have guessed that that's his dad. Nobody would have guessed because there had not a single one. Like, you had to completely change the character entirely.
This isn't hard. This isn't just 25% different. This is like 100% different.
This is clear. Like who was saying it? Was it Red Letter Media? They know what Star Trek canon is. They don't care.
Yeah,
they don't care. They just want to make this shit. They don't care. Yeah, this is the writers' experience in therapy sessions. Yeah, the writers had daddy issues, clearly, and mommy issues. Because it turns out that they're mad at daddy all this time, but mommy was the crazy one. Oh, mommy's the crazy one. There she is. Oh, that's his little drawing of something outside.
Just a game. Hide and seek down below.
She's like 6 feet tall, too. So she takes him down to the cellar here for some reason.
Strange reason.
Because she's imagining and hallucinating. So here's his dad.
Was it before I found you?
He was down there for a long time.
So apparently he's like trapped in the cellar for hours because he got stuck in the board and his mom ran off because she's crazy.
You think he would get tired and sit down?
And he would have gotten drowned out in there. You think he would have sat down, but you know.
Help me,
mama! Help me, mama!
And she's locked in a closet or something.
She went and locked herself in the basement there. We're basically watching to kind of recap because so much stupid crap happened. Because we watched it a little bit again this morning, and we're like, "What the crap happened?" Even
we couldn't even figure out what happened
because the story's so back and forth and incoherent and inconsistent, and it's like reference here, Star Trek, or like Raffi and Seven are having coffee on the bridge. Agnes, we haven't even gone to Agnes breaking into the freaking club yet.
Yeah.
So he wakes up.
Uh-huh.
He's fine now because he figured out that it's his mommy who's crazy the whole time.
And then Romulan Mrs. Doyle wakes up.
And she's like, I was parading around in your head this whole time. You should learn something about me, Picard.
Dr. Lady. Now we're back to Dr. Lady.
Oh yeah, now we're back to Dr. Lady and the kid.
He's fascinated by starships now, by rockets. And
so he wants to go into space.
He's an alien that can make things appear out of thin air.
He's a spaceman alien. Couldn't they get a kid who can speak? What's with kids saying, make them speak that thing out of thin air? It's air. I could say air as a kid. I didn't say ew. Ew. What are you, a baby? Oh, I hate baby talk on children. I just don't like children.
Okay,
more and more of.
Okay, little Timmy, we need you to really, really convince us that you're a little kid.
Much so.
Las mariposa, the butterfly effect.
The butterfly effect. This is the butterfly effect we were trying to avoid. Now she knows that there's aliens in the future.
Yeah, and how conveniently that the Las Mariposa, that's the name of the clinic. Oh, gee!
Like pretty much everything they're doing is like, oh, we can't change the timeline. This is the one too where Guinan screams. Okay, we haven't even gotten to Picard going. Like after this, Picard's gonna go into the bar with Guinan here. Oh yeah, here you go. They beam her up. Him up. You want to see something cool? Yeah, I want to see something cool. I'd have to go watch another TV show to see something cool though. Feels like SGU universe. Why? Yeah, this is exactly like Stargate universe. It's just stupid. It's bad, and nothing makes sense.
Now we're here now. We're in a real Professor Farnsworth moment here. Oh my God! I've just dropped my coffee.
Better than dropping her taco and getting in the car, right? That'll be next. That'll be the next one.
Drop the taco. Get in the car.
Is it more istophobic that Bree was saying that to a Hispanic woman?
My ship.
I'm from space.
My spaceship.
Yeah, it's cool. All right, so this is okay. Like, if this were in a real Star Trek movie or something, or a TV show, I wouldn't have as big of a problem with it, but we're stopping this stupid Picard story to kind of, all right, this might be interesting. Like, this could be the Starman series that they I guess did and swapped everybody out for, diversity.
Did they
rebooted it? Yeah, they remade Starman apparently.
Remember Robert Hayes. Remember the
original? Yeah. They remade it, but now it's not for people who look like me. It's for people who look like Batwoman. Anyway.
Star Whamman.
Batwoman.
Star Whamman.
See, they could have done something like this with Star. Just don't make it Star Trek, and don't reference specifically. Make this a new show.
No.
You make a new show with this guy as a guy from space who lands on Earth and has to romance the Doctor. But now they're just ripping off Starman too. If we romance the Doctor and her kid, I'd probably watch that. You know.
Now you've created an inconsistency.
But not with these people. Not with the people making this.
Jeopardized the timeline by bringing her on board and her son.
They jeopardized the timeline the second they landed and interacted with one human. Did they just rename Jean-Luc Picard's father? Yes. He is Gaius Baltar.
Again, they wrote a bunch. They had a bunch of scripts, a bunch of ideas written. They flung them up in the air, and they said, "Okay, put it back together now." It's so. This is just. There's just.
But Captain Kirk did this with the chick from the thing, and they took whales in her.
No. Well, you know what? But you know what? Captain Kirk. But she jumped into the beam at the last second.
She did. They weren't going to bring her.
They weren't going to bring her.
Do you understand what this could mean?
Oh, these assholes. And then you got Raffi and Seven still looking for Agnes. Like, they can't find... Oh, they actually have a cell phone now. They actually whipped out a cell phone.
They got a tablet. They got a Microsoft Touch. Whatever it is.
And Agnes... Okay, so this is the night before because this is dark.
She's working as a waitress in a cocktail bar.
She's literally working as a waitress. So she bursts in. I don't know why. What's the point of her going in here?
Someone said it's an endorphin rush.
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking. Like she goes in, she breaks this glass for the endorphin rush for no reason, right?
You can't get the same endorphin rush by just punching through a window in a parked car.
She could have just stripped naked. That would have given her an endorphin rush. No, this scene only exists to have Alison Pill in this red dress to remind you of Battlestar Galactica subconsciously.
And to show
so we can see Patrick Stewart's blue singing wife. There she is there.
And this guy's obviously not playing.
Yeah, well, this guy's not playing his guitar. So she comes in, she's singing this bad blues song.
Is that Drake playing pool there?
This guy, that's not Drake.
I know, just kidding.
So I'm singing the blues because that's why I'm in this scene.
And this guy's wailing away. He's not doing anything here. He's probably not even plugged in.
That's her whole reason to be in this scene is because Patrick Stewart's wife is a blues singer now. Apparently.
Now she's got to get a close up too. Watch.
Wobbly wobbly. Just sing wobbly wobbly.
Wobbly wobbly. Yeah, might as well. Okay, she's trying to look all alluring and sexy, and it's not working. Okay?
Go grab the mic from her. Agnes. I dare you.
Can you listen. Can you give her a little bit different hair to make her look a little bit more...
Less like the Six from Battlestar Galactica, maybe?
Yeah.
Can you give her a different... Because you're basically trying to make her Trisha Helfer, and she's not. She's not Trisha Helfer. She's not as interesting.
She's not nearly as sexy.
No.
She's like, okay. She's got that.
He's trying to hit on her.
I hate saying it. She's got a chubby face.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I hate saying that about her because she's not unattractive, but she's not sexy.
There's nothing interesting about this girl, about Alison Pill. She breaks out the freaking glass in the window for no reason other than
an endorphin rush.
Endorphins or something, I guess. Yeah, she walks up to it.
Okay.
Nobody calls the police or anything?
Hey, I got a crazy woman who just broke my window.
Right?
Hey, miss. All right, get out.
Okay. Why is this even here? Just the endorphins? Just to...
Yeah. And the band stops playing.
The band stops playing for some reason.
Which is actually, I once asked somebody who was in a bar band like that, pardon me, and
burp into the mic, Rob.
I'm sorry, it just came out. But anyway, I said, what happens if there's something, a fight breaks out? What happens if something happens? And he told me, you keep playing. Just keep playing. Keep playing.
You're supposed to keep playing. You're not supposed to stop. And that's our go to commercial moment, right?
And keep me informed.
It's a commercial break. Yeah.
Commercial break, even though there's no commercials on CBS All Access, right?
Actually, no. There is a commercial plan that
we're using another thing.
But it is kind of good that they give us commercial
review
break so we can tell how close it is to being freaking over.
So here you have their little
Q or the new one?
For now, Sung.
Is there a new Q? Is the Q or the new one? So is this is a new Q now that we're talking about? That's not like Hugh and Sung aren't even in this episode. It's like they shoehorned those two assholes in last minute. Right?
How much is this as reshoots, do you think?
Probably a lot of it.
Picard. You saved her.
Picard, you saved your mother's life.
Okay, look, she has a normal ear right there.
Yeah, so she hasn't confessed anything. This is before.
Okay.
Now she's like, hey, I'm a Romulan Picard.
Well, mine, without doubt.
Well,
So, yeah.
Because she's like, I was just running around inside of your head for 20 minutes, and I know everything about you. Now you need to know something about me.
And clearly we have hand sanitizer, so
How
we're
about I
keeping
give you this much?
Okay, I can give you this much. Okay. Okay, there you go. Actually, those ears work for her.
Knew it.
No, you didn't, because she told you she wasn't related in the first place. Why did she have to pose as a human? Who cares at this point?
Well, in 21st century LA, it's a little unusual for people.
No, it's not. You have
Walking
people
around
who
pointing
identify.
ears,
No, it's
but-
not. You could just say, no, I identify as an elf. That's all you could do.
Yeah.
I identify as an elf. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you get a good point, yeah. I clearly...
No, really. I mean, you have people walking around with forked tongues that they've had surgically enhanced to do that. You have
File
people
their
who
teeth.
tattoo the whites of their eyes black. You have people who file their teeth into points. You have people who implant demon horns into their head. Why couldn't she be a Romulan elf in this? Yeah.
I'm very popular in the... I've made my name for myself in the cosplay community.
Right?
It's LA. Who would notice? Good point there, Stephen Botham.
Right? Oh, so she's like, I'm a Romulan spy.
Ancestor.
Usually we're recruited to watch over our own, but
Who the hell? You're watching over your own, but now I gotta watch over some human for some reason?
But it made no sense it had to make sense for the plot, Picard.
And if she was a Romulan, why didn't she just keep her Irish accent? It would have made less sense than her.
There's over 350,000 Irish immigrants in LA. I mean...
She could have said, I'm an Irish elf. Oh, I'm a leprechaun. Don't take my lucky charms. That's what she could have said. She could have just left her accent. She could have said, yes, I'm an elf. I'm really into Lord of the Rings over here.
I'm a big hit at the Ren Fair.
To watchers get a salary. Lots of planets heaven north, right? Lots of planets. There's an Ireland and lots of planets, right?
but on occasion a similar species.
That technology.
Romulans and humans aren't very similar, are they?
Oh, they except for the green blood and the... God forbid, imagine if she got like hit by a car walking down the street or whatever, you know. What is this green crap coming out of her?
Most importantly, what does she do when she gets that time of month? Is it green? Is it red? That's something that nobody wants to know.
Maybe Romulan women don't have that.
Maybe. Well, she is over 60, so I'm sure she hasn't had one for a while. So she's like, yes, now I've got to walk around LA hiding my true self, hiding my truth.
At least until the next Ren Fair.
She says hiding my truth. I have to hide my truth.
Talking about the mission.
We're talking about the mission, and I gotta go around LA hiding my truth. She literally says my truth.
I need a little break here. Hold on, I'll be right back. This is making me. I had a big jug of water too, so.
So she's a Karen. They're all Karens. This is Star Trek now. This is what Star Trek has devolved into now. Is we're complaining about it for like an hour straight. So we're gonna do a fun stream tonight. We're gonna do like a game stream tonight. I'm not sure what. And I'm gonna try and make Rob make sure that he uploads a stream and a thumbnail like he was supposed to last night and didn't get around to it. Because I'm gonna make sure he watches Ghostbusters 2016 now that he's monetized. So it's green in every 7 years. Every 7 years. That's right. It would be in every 7 years to line up with the cycle of the Ponfaring.
Unknowable. But here he is. So late in my life, still fixated on me. He
Q.
needs this
Here's Q, still fixated on me in my old age. Well, he's in love with you, Picard. I think Q is in love with you, Picard. Any Romulan would hate to be stuck on Earth for any reason, don't you think? Don't you think? I think so too. I think so too. I don't think they would want to be on Earth watching over his stupid mousy ancestor. She's doing a terrible job too. If all it takes is of years of Q trying to condition this chick to not go into space, why didn't Q just kill her? Why didn't Q just blink his eye and take her out? Why didn't he just do anything? Why didn't they try and get her canceled? I mean, it would be easier to get her fired than it would be to convince her not to go, wouldn't it? All you gotta do is just fake some istophobia or something. Just create a Twitter account in the past and say, oh, is that you? Yeah, and just face swap her face saying something istophobic, and that's it. I mean, she's already a white woman, so seriously, they don't understand how easy it would be to keep like there's so many things like other than Q, because Q talking the chick out of going into space is probably the hardest, longest way around. Like, talk about a stupid bad guy plot. It is the hardest, longest way around at stopping her going into space. So she could have an OnlyFans, right? OnlyFans. Oh, and then we get to the Guinan part. Should I wait for you for the Guinan part, Rob?
yours may be. Go on offense.
It sounds like you want to summon Q.
So then they have to summon Q. They want to summon Q for some reason. Why are we summoning Q? I don't want to summon Q at all. Let's not summon Q. How about that? So he has to go into... Oh, she's an attractive woman. Don't get me wrong. She's just not good at accents that aren't her own. That are not her own. So they go to the bar to try and convince Guinan to summon Q for some reason, even though it's not really Guinan.
To keep you out of it.
Is that?
Even though it's racist Guinan. Racist, miserable Guinan who hates everybody.
Everybody hates everybody on this show.
Yeah. Remember how Guinan used to kind of give a crap for people? Now she just seems like she's like, oh, you're pathetic. Yeah, I'm better than you. She's literally like she's playing Whoopi Goldberg now. You know, this elitist Whoopi Goldberg.
Denizens?
Well, I'm not gonna call them gods. That's for damn sure.
So he's like, hey, we need to summon Q, a god. Oh, and then you get the genie bottle. So apparently this is supposed to resonate in a certain way. And Elorians are supposed to be able to scream. Elorians are supposed to be able to scream at a certain frequency that resonates to get a Q to show up or something.
This one. So my people, every action vibrates.
Yeah, every action oh, who cares? So she screams to get Q to show up.
Right memory. Find the right chord and pluck it back.
Yeah, so she pulls the thing and a noise starts going and then she starts screaming for reasons because that's supposed to summon a Q because apparently Elorians can now summon Q for some reason. Yeah, so she's just a voodoo chick now. Yeah, she is. 60-bit mascot's right. She's just a voodoo chick now, so she can do magic voodoo to get Q summoned.
Yeah, they're making everything up on the fly.
This is never how does it summon? I guess it's got some frequency that resonates and yada yada. Okay, got it. That's as deep as the science goes.
If Q hates her,
the Q
why would he show up?
Yeah, and if Q hates her, why does he show up? And we know that Guinan hates Q from what? When she hissed at him way back, right?
Where she goes, trouble follows.
So she pours this sludge. And the music plays for like 20 minutes.
In our case, our friendly neighborhood Q.
And all she does is slam back drinks and booze. That's all she does is just drink. Guinan never really drank that much, did she?
No.
Once in a blue moon.
Once in a blue moon, yeah.
That's all this one does. Oh, so she's got to drink it and then she's going to puke scream. That's what it was. She puke screamed. And she's trying to summon a Q, but for, whatever reason. And they just want to trash the bar for no reason. I'm sure we're going to have to delete some of this because we're probably showing more than 7 seconds at a time before we interrupt. But yeah.
Okay, that's right.
So yeah, she could scream and then nothing happens. Where is he? Nothing happens.
Not here.
And then it doesn't work anyway. Nothing happens until... Oh, what are these two up to? They heard it. This is just an excuse to get Jerry Ryan and jeans, right? Beer.
Pabst Blue Ribbon.
What are you doing, Jerry Ryan? Oh, they're hunting Agnes. That's what it is. But she's not even 7 of 9. She's just Jerry Ryan now. So they're hunting down Agnes. They find the bar that she broke out the window of. And nobody cleaned up the glass? Overnight, nobody cleaned up the glass.
We brought the Borg to Earth before humanity can defend itself.
Oh, yeah, they got the Borg to humanity before the... Who cares? Who really cares? So now Agnes is the one responsible for bringing the Borg back in time. So this whole series is going to just be, had they not gone in the first place, the universe wouldn't have been broken, right? Right? It's like their own damn fault. So this thing happens. Some random a-hole comes into the bar. He's like, dum-de-dum-de-dum. I want a drink. I'm celebrating. And there's this huge, long, convoluted plot for him to say, hey, I'm David Duchovny. I'm with the X-Files, basically. I'm here to track down alien activity. Why'd you beam in the middle of nowhere, Picard?
FBI. Yeah.
FBI. Why'd you beam in the middle of nowhere, Picard? See? Look, we're on to you. We're on to you. So now they're all getting arrested by the FBI. And that's the cliffhanger, is where everybody storms in and arrests Picard and Guinan. Good! Good! Give them all the chair. I'm tired.
Yeah, the chair.
Oh, I can fix that. I got that one.
He has a real short fuse.
I got it.
Yeah. They should give him the chair. The chair.
That's what I do, anyway. No, yes, no.
Bust him. Yeah. Give those guys the chair. The chair. The chair.
That's my request for Picard. Just give everybody who makes it the chair. What kind of chair? Not a comfy one. When in doubt, close the episode out with some kind of raid. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you weren't wrong. That is literally Black Panther. Why is she painting Black Panther to go and chase them? I don't know. Maybe that's supposed to be a Vulcan. That can't be anybody other than Black Panther, can it? Maybe. In this painting?
Could be.
What do you think?
I'm just so...
How is this Star Trek? I don't know what the hell we're watching. It's not Star Trek. It's not interesting. It's not good. Like, this is the most Star Trek because at least you got somebody in a damn uniform who looks like they would be on a Star Trek show, sort of, if he shaved, and didn't look so greasy. But... Mike Judge was a genius. He is infinitely quotable, isn't he? And now back to the list of things we would rather watch than Star Trek Picard. Beavis and Butthead. That squirrel in the park. I think it's about time to go feed the squirrel, huh?
Mm-hmm.
It's about squirrels feeding time. Pearl feeding? Pearl fishery.
Park peanuts.
Pearl fishery time. Park peanuts time. So if anybody would like to send unsalted peanuts, care of, whatever. I have the P.O. box until June. So I am Mecca. Is this all we got? This is all we got. Star Trek. This is just Star Trek today. What do you guys think of it? Now that we've complained. Did you guys watch it? The makers should be drawn and quartered. Turn them on and on under pressure. Turn them on and on under pressure.
Get a haircut, hippie.
Thank you, Mantis. 2 Doctor Who money.
Thank you so much. Guinan used to be likable. This is crap, right? Yeah. Y'all think Q will be on season 3? Maybe interact a little with Riker. Yeah, John Delancey is supposed to be in season 3, from what I've seen. So Q is supposed to be in season 3. All right. So here's what I think of season 3, though. I think that it's just a bunch of stuff that they trimmed out of this, and they did a few pickups to try and stretch it into 2 seasons, just to justify an extra DVD.
Maybe
an extra quote-unquote season for content for the failed streaming service. Or failing, because you've got like Disney Plus and Netflix are the big ones, and then Paramount Plus is like way
Yeah.
Speaking of Mike Judge, I don't know why they don't let Mike Judge do everything there. Mike Judge and Trey and Matt,
Because
they need to give more of Paramount Plus to
he's-
them than
because
the
he's
Star Trek crap.
competent. Trey and Matt are good at what they do.
Right. That am Star Trek now. Yeah, I'm watching that. I can't bring myself to watch it. It's more fun, but it's more fun to dump on, I think, than Discovery. No. I think Picard has its moments of ridiculousness, but it's a lot sadder to sit through because these are characters I actually cared about at one point. You know, these are actually people who, like, I liked Next Generation a lot. I liked Voyager a lot. I loved both of those shows.
Yeah.
I don't give a crap about anybody on Discovery because other than being adopted by Spock's father, which I don't really care about anyway, none of those people have any relation to anything. So
SG.
Oh, thank you so much. $5 super chat. Season 3 is fixing what they did in season 2. So they can reuse footage. I don't know if they're gonna fix. I don't know if
They're gonna kill everybody off.
Yeah, they'll probably kill everybody off. Well, I mean, they're gonna bring in the TNG cast. I don't think it's gonna fix anything though. That's the whole point of all of this. In my opinion, I don't think any of it's gonna be fixed. And thank you for the super chat. Mentally ill people writing themselves into characters. Yeah. That seems so too. The guy says Discovery characters have no charisma. You know who that is, Tagging Mantis? Yeah, I watched that video. You're the one who linked that. I watched that. That guy was in the Frantics. If anybody knows the Frantics, boot to the head. I think Star Trek needs a boot to the head. What do you think? Yeah. That would fix it. So we watched the video, and then I immediately played him the Frantics skit.
Yeah.
The first one. He hasn't watched The Last Will and Temperament yet. But... Just do an episode of Agnes boobs, Steve Bobby. Oh man, but yeah, check out that video of the guy talking. And thank you so much for the super chat. Check out the video of the guy talking about how Discovery has no charisma. Because it's not just the actors. Like I think they could pull off a little bit. Like Anthony Rapp does have some charisma. He's probably one of the better people in Discovery as far as like on camera, as far as that. And he was specifically saying he was I guess a network exec at some point. This guy is the video you're talking about, and he was saying how, oh shit, I just lost the thought.
You're saying that there's certain things. I mean, there's a certain
that you could
qualities.
Yeah, you could, depending on the actors, you could have a director make these characters more likable. But he was saying how, like, with Sonequa Martin Green's character, she had nothing other than had mind melded with a Vulcan and was raised by Vulcans. They have no other character with her. So every time you see her on screen, you know, she's just in her emotions. She's not anything other than I don't think he said that part about her, but he said that they didn't know how to write her character. Mm-hmm. So I'm elaborating and adding for this point that from what I'm seeing in Sonequa Martin Green in her performance is that like all they're telling her is to, you know, give an emotional response, despite the fact that being raised by Vulcans, she would probably be suppressing them. Mm-hmm. She wouldn't be so emotional. She wouldn't be crying at the drop of the hat.
And every emotion, the only emotion she ever expresses is crying.
Yeah, she's crying, or these people are always angry at each other, or it's sad if they kill off any Next Generation characters. Killing off Discovery characters would be hilarious. Oh, it's hilarious. Watch the one where Harry Mudd kills him over and over again. I don't like Rainn Wilson. I don't like Harry Mudd, but I kind of enjoy his version of just killing them over and over and over again. That part's kind of hilarious. There's like a Groundhog Day episode where they have a party, and it's so childish. It's so childish. Could talk about canon to the writers or else they'd be fired. I believe that. Yeah, I believe that one. Because I've heard similar. I've heard that, you know, what if there are people on set who do and they're not listened to? Yeah. Yeah, so you couldn't even express, you know, hey, my character would never do that. Yeah. I would be under the assumption that, remember when Anson Mount got into it with some of the Discovery directors and stuff? I would bet that he probably said, hey, this Star Trek thing wouldn't happen. Because I think he actually is a Star Trek fan. So... Humans are not Vulcans. Humans are not. She wanted to be, though. She was trying to be really hard. Martin Green sucked in The Walking Dead. She sucks worse than STD. Yeah, and she's not a good actress in this. Like, nothing against her personally, but in Discovery, she's terrible. It's like everybody, even in Picard, are terrible. anymore, except for who's good in Picard.
I don't know. Rios, maybe the Rios.
Yeah,
guy?
Rios is the best one.
Even that's a stretch.
Yeah, and I wish they were giving him something better than just reenacting Star Trek 4, with his character, because you could have an interesting character. You could bring in his cultural heritage. That would be interesting. Look what they did with Cisco and his cultural heritage. They brought that in all over the place. How he's like cooking for people. And, they brought in him all over the place with that. I would love to see that with Rios, They would never be able to do it. Like, if we had, like, a Rios series where he was the captain of some little four-banger ship, maybe have him the captain of the Stargazer, have Picard send him off, have it take place in the 90s by the people who made Star Trek good in the 90s, and have it be I hate saying lower decks sort of crew, but have it be like the Orville of Star Trek. You could have had him as like the captain, as he's more interested in like gambling with having a cigar and drinking and enjoying life. He would be like having a Riker series before Riker got married, right? He would be like the swinging young hip. He would be like a good combination of Kirk if they would have done it right. They would have never done it right. They're just incapable of it. Tilly and Agnes are good comedy wise. Agnes is awful. Oh, I hate her. Orville is Star Trek. Orville is Star Trek now. Yeah, I couldn't even pass as a Vulcan. Vulcans have too much emotion. How could the Ilorians fight with the Q and actually draw them? When Q have unlimited control over space and time, I knew they'd bring Q as soon as he appeared in the first teaser. That too. That I don't understand. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe there's something canonically with that I don't remember. Rob, do you remember that? With Guinan and Q? Is there any history of that? Well, okay, so here's a good question here. How can the Ilorians fight the Q and actually draw them? Because the Ilorians are just an ancient race of listeners, right? They just live a very long time and they listen. I didn't think they had any special power or ability, other than they can live a very, very long time.
All right, you're fired. You're fired. You pointed
I
out
know. I
something
pointed out something. Well, that's just me. So how do we explain Guinan fighting Q? Also, this angry bitchy Guinan, I just cannot stand. I like Guinan always was more compassionate. She didn't seem like she hated everybody,
No, she didn't hate everybody.
Can't understand how Picard did not recognize his dad, but he did in TNG. Well, we didn't either, because he's played by BALTAR. He's played by the guy who played BALTAR. Who when you first see him kind of come into the screen, you see him from the side, so you kind of see he kind of comes in, like is that Julian Bashir? No, it's not Bashir. Oh, of course, it's the guy who's Baltar who looks like Bashir. Aren't Guinan and Q the same race? No. Ilorians and Q are completely different. And what happened to the Q Continuum in this? Why isn't the Q Continuum watching over, knowing? Like, the Q Continuum wouldn't allow this whole season to happen.
You're asking too many questions.
I'm asking too many questions again. Come here.
They don't want you to ask questions.
They don't want me to ask questions. So the Q Continuum, where's the Q Continuum with all this? Because like the ancients had a continuum sort of thing in Stargate. Listen, I'm like, this is just like a Q Continuum.
You're not supposed to ask questions, because then if you start asking questions, you'll realize it doesn't make any sense.
So you think the Q Continuum would, like, I don't know, stop it from happening?
You're not supposed to. No, don't ask those questions.
Here's me thinking it was Ra's al Ghul.
Actually, that guy would make a good Ra's al Ghul.
This guy?
Yeah. Batman villain Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah. Well, was
like Liam Neeson's character from that.
Yeah. Well, I'm just wondering, did the guy who played Bashir play him in
I don't think so.
In anything like in Gotham or anything?
I'm not sure.
Because last time I saw him was in Game of Thrones, the guy from DS9.
I'd have to look. I don't know.
Yeah. Did he play? Because he would be good. He did in Gotham. Okay, yeah, he did in Gotham.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is a different guy that looks like it. That's James Callis from Battlestar Galactica. He looks like him, but like, and then I went on his IMDb, he wasn't in it. He didn't list this in his credits. It's still It's still bad writing. Where is the Q continuum?
Who knows at this point?
Here. Well, the Illyrians are simply aware of the timeline changes, but simply being aware of timelines can't help you fight a godlike being. Also, Guinan fought Q in Q Who with her hand gesture.
No,
yeah, she hissed at him.
No, it was just like...
She's like she hissed at him, right? She didn't really fight him. She just kind of...
Didn't fight anything, really.
What was he in BSG? In Battlestar Galactica, he was Baltar. He was Baltar, the scientist who created the Cylons in the remake. I guess Baltar also didn't he also create him in the last one? No, he didn't create him in the first one. But that guy was also in Star Trek. The guy who played Baltar in the original was also in Star Trek. They found out he died, didn't they?
Yeah.
The other guy. He played... Well, they brought him back also as a Klingon a couple of times, right? They brought him... Because he was a Klingon. And then they brought him in the Dax episode. Yeah. Where she was palling around with all the old Klingons from TOS. Because Curzon... Did you see that episode?
No.
Oh, you should watch that one. That was a pretty good episode. Because Curzon was like buddies with all the Klingons. So... thanks for bouncing.
Yeah,
anyway, I think that's all we got. On this one. What happened to the Dominion? I don't know what happened to the Dominion.
Listen, they're not going to do anything like that.
Well, this is in 2024. Like, we should be having, like, the Bell riots right now.
You're assuming that they actually watched DS9, which they haven't.
I only watched it, like, once through in its entirety, but... Cylons are on Picard, frack. Yeah. Cylons and Garfunkel. So she's still there. So yeah, this show is just terrible. I don't recommend it at all, but if you do want to kind of know what the crap they're up to, hopefully our recaps are entertaining. That's why I'm like, you know what, I'm not going to do specific reviews anymore. We're going to do a recap where I pull it up on screen, or I do it from the park. I was going to do it from the park today. We might still do a park stream. We might do a touch the grass stream depending on how windy it is. It's 63 degrees out and mostly sunny. So I'm going to go for a walk and feed the squirrels in the park.
I'm going to have a little snacky poop.
And he's going to have a snack before. I might have a snack too before we go. The absolute state of Star Trek is BS. Yeah, go subscribe to that dude. Did you guys link that? I think you guys linked that. Over the guy who was talking about there's no charisma. He was part of the Frantics. So he's actually famous. Do a cooking stream. I will sometime. Hopefully before I get my cooking stuff packed away. But now I got 2 months to move, so hopefully we'll get all that done. So thank you guys so much for hanging out. We will see you on the next video, live stream, wherever. And for sure, we're going to do some sort of stream this evening, like a game stream. Rob will probably be watching Ghostbusters tomorrow. Set up your Ghostbusters stream right now. Yeah, so they can like see it. Also, Odo was like an exile of the Dominion. That's right. That's true. Didn't he get kicked out of the... No, he didn't. He went back, didn't he? Didn't he go back to the goo? Oh, I'm going to have to rewatch DS9. Anyway. That's why I always like to ask, because there's going to be a few things that I miss, but... Anywho. There you go. I'm closing the tab completely. You can't see that. Thank you guys so much for allowing me to complain about it. Also, I got to do the blues singing. So there. We will see you on the next video, live stream, or wherever. I'm going back to the goo just like Odo. Bye.